Welcome to the Waxing Podcast. I'm Kirsten Getzelman, esthetician, educator, and your host. Each week, we'll dive into real conversations, industry tips, and the kind of advice every beauty pro should have in their back pocket. This show is sponsored by Enso, a woman and esthetician-founded brand bringing better options to everyday beauty pros. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to the Waxing Podcast. My name is Kirsten. You can always find me on TAMPAWAXER, Enso Wax, and the Waxing Podcast on Instagram. Kirsten Getzman on socials. I could do this all day. I am literally an array of names all over the internet, and I'm so happy to be here today. Let me just tell you the morning that I had getting this set up. Like, if this is a face-to-face time conversation right now, imagine me FaceTiming you and being like, what the fuck? Does the universe literally not want me to do this podcast today? I have Rode microphones. I have like a camera set up. Like, I have all of these things that were just not wanting to work with me, but against me today. Let's just say it took me like 45 minutes to get going on the podcast. But I was determined. I'm like, I have things to talk about. I have a really good topic today that I know is going to be so helpful. I will not lie to you. You might spend a little money today. So I do want to apologize for you spending that money. However, I do also want to say, technically it's an investment. So I'm not really asking you to pour money into the garbage can and light it on fire. So in today's episode, wow, I just really skipped from like, I'm having a bad technical day to being like, here's all the tech that you should buy. But I want to get right to the point because I feel like this episode is really helpful, especially being 2025, especially because I don't think I've ever done an episode like this before, but I wanted to share some really good tech things that I believe every good waxer should have in their treatment space, especially if you are using online as a form of marketing. So yes, before I get started, I will link all of these in the bio. Yes, I will earn probably some commission for some of these. Honestly, though, a lot of these are going to link to probably Amazon just because I know it's like the most, I guess if I can try not to link it to Amazon, I will, because obviously I prefer to support outside of Amazon, but it's the most world known thing that I know all of you guys can have access to. So yeah, I think I have like a creators thing on there, but I've never actually accessed my money on there. And I also don't think like I've had more than $2. So yeah, some of these will be commission based, but I promise you, maybe a coffee will be, which thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So yes, today's episode is going to be about tech. I think it's really important as a new esthetician, as an old esthetician, as any esthetician, to make sure you just have things in your room that are elevating you in some way. I also, with tech, want to say that I'll include tools in here. One of the things that I've been doing in my treatment room recently that has caused a lot of buzz internally in my treatment room has been from a tool that I use. And so I'll talk about that in a moment. But really just like different ways that you can elevate yourself that, I always say, like, if you can purchase something once and it continues to give you benefits throughout the entire duration of your career, that's probably the best investment that you're going to have. So a lot of these things that I give you might be higher quality or something else like, maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you only have to buy it once. So therefore, I like this episode for that reason. Okay, let's get started on kind of just like your big picture stuff. So we'll start big, work our way to small. So don't get intimidated by the first thing that I name and it being very expensive. But first on my list, I think everyone should have a really good bed. That does not mean that it has to be a bed that is electric or warms the client's body or anything like that. But I do want to let you know that ever since I purchased and invested into a really, really good bed that does also have the electric like lift and down part about it, my whole life has changed. I will never do this again. It kind of reminds me of, we just bought a Tempur-Pedic and we bought like the lifter thing to go with it. And similarly enough, like you get in there once, you kind of start to like get used to it. And now you're like, damn, how did I never recline up before this? And that's kind of how I feel about the bed. So like I have clients that come in who are 4'9", who are 5'10", who like to sit a little, I guess, like, under the headrest. I have people that like to sit up a little higher. Like, I love that, like, I don't have to tell them to change their ways as much as I can change mine for them. Does that make sense? Like, if I have a client who's 4'9", like, I love that I don't have to, like, scoot a little thing over to have her get up and get onto the bed, or, like, I love that she doesn't have to, like, jump up into the bed. Like, I can actually utilize my bed to accommodate that person, and I don't know, there's something really cool about that. And again, if I never had an electric bed, I would have never even thought about it that way. But when you have it, I guess it's like one of those things where when people are like, when you know, you know. And same goes for like the tall girls. So I invested in electric bed. I have the Sage bed. It is the brand Skin and Act, but I got it off of Spa and Treatment. And one thing that I want to say, and I hope that I actually communicate with the brand before this episode comes out, I do have a code. It is TAMPAWAXER. I don't know if you'll still save money on it, but, like, I just have a code. They like, I think that's so weird that that the brand did that to me. So I was getting tons of feedback and tons of people asking questions about where I got it. And so I reached out to the brand and I asked for a code, and I thought that they were gonna set up, like, an affiliate thing with me, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, here's a code." And, like, I know I've sold so many. I haven't received a dollar for it, so that sucks. I'm going to reach out to them. I'm gonna let them know that I would like to be getting commission for the bed because I do think why wouldn't I? And so anyway, Tampa Waxer, I'll still push for that to be the code if that's the case. But anything on their website, it's spatreatment.com. This is a Skin and Act bed. I have the Sage bed. I get a ton of compliments on it. I definitely think it's really fitting for my room. Like, I've seen the bed in other people's studios and I love it. I obviously see it because it's the bed that I use. But there's something about it being in the space that I'm in that has like the huge windows and like it's very loft style that I feel like looks really good. But that's not to say there's not so many other options. A lot of people also ask me how I clean the bed because it's white, and I use Ship Shape. So, like, anything that's like upholstered in your treatment room can be used with Ship Shape, and it's really good. I haven't had any wear or major tear. And if it's been any, damage, it's been for my own stupidity. Like, right now, I have my laptop and all my shit sitting on my bed as we speak. So that's number one, is a really good bed. Bonus, it's electric, but really just a good bed that that comfortably can hold somebody who is, let's say, heavier set, or somebody who is scared to get onto the bed because they're worried about them being able to be accommodated on the bed. My assistant, she opened her own suite, which it's going really well. I'm so proud of her. Gosh, that's like a whole episode in itself. She's brand spanking new. And like, I'm telling you, like, her books some days are more than mine. And I'm like, damn. I mean, she's just really, I could see it. Like, if I saw her on TikTok, if I lived in her area, like, I would sell and be booked too. So I said sell, sold, and I would be sold on her and I would book. But when she was first opening her space, as a new esthetician, you don't want to spend a lot of the money on some of these items. But I remember her and I speaking about this, and she was like, what bed should I get? And I remember telling her, like, look, like, you don't have to get the bed that I got, and you don't have to get a bed that's even remotely in the same like cost budget as mine, because I've been an esthetician for a lot of years, and like, I haven't had a bed for 12 years until this year with an electric and things like that. But I told her, please make sure you have a bed that every client is going to feel comfortable on, but not even for nothing. Get a bed that like makes you feel so confident about anybody being on it. And I'm not kidding you. There was a time where I was using a portable bed in a salon that we were renting from because my sister was there half the time. I was there the other half of the time. She's a hairdresser. I'm a waxer. I would literally wheel her. Oh my God, what a crazy time. I would wheel her chair out of the treatment room and I would bring my portable bed into the treatment room and unfold it and all of that. And although nothing crazy ever happened with that bed, it was always like a worry in my head when I had a client go and lay on it because it would like shift and move. And I'm like, oh my God, all it takes is one time for this bed to like collapse or do something crazy. And then how do you recover from that on both parties? Like, that person feels embarrassed. I feel mortified, embarrassed, ashamed, disgusting, all the things. So, like, invest in a good bed and make sure that it can handle, I don't know, some of them say over 500 pounds or 500 pounds or less. I say go for the one that's 800 pounds. Like, make sure that you just know that your bed is accommodating as can be. Okay, the next item on your list, again, this is tech and tools, is lighting. So, lighting is obviously so important for many reasons, especially if you're in a suite that has no windows. And guys, this is where I go into if I can recommend brands outside of knockoff brands, I will. And this will be one of those times. And there's two stories to this. So, there's two brands out there that I recommend, and I'm going to tell you why I would choose one over the other for different reasons. So, first and foremost is Glamcore. Glamcore specifically has lights for professionals in a professional setting. I really, really like Glamcore. That's what I use. And why I really like it, because I'm going to get on to the next one and say how much I love that one too. And I do. But why I really love Glamcore is because I love to shoot content. I love to move my light around as frequently as possible. Like, I like to take my light and like throw it in the corner, put it by the bed, put it by my window, stick my phone on it, do content. Like, there's so many reasons why I like the flexibility of that one. So for that reason, I do like Glamcore. And I will say that during a trade show a couple of years ago, my Glamcore light had like begun acting. Is that right? Yeah, right? Past tense? Yeah, sure. Okay. Begun acting. Why does that sound wrong? Okay. You get it. I started acting like it was like, I don't know, the lighting was, like, acting a little funny. So, anyway, I went up to the booth. I told them that the light was acting weird, and one of the things I will never forget that happened was the guy looked at me and he goes, "Well, that's a problem we cannot have." And it was just really good customer service, and before he even looked at my account, he already was, like, prepping to send me another one in the process, and I thought to myself, like, what a cool experience to have because those lights are very expensive, and so that was a cool moment that I had. Okay, so I like that for that reason. Now, the other one in the industry that is so amazing is Cosmoglow. So, Cosmoglow is a woman-founded company. Her name is Mary. She is fantastic. I did an interview with her many years ago. She's helped me along the way with Enso. When I reach out to her, we haven't talked in a while, but I just love the story behind her light. She is a lasher and used to do lashes before she started her own company, now Cosmoglow. And she just felt like the lights, the one that I was explaining that, you can kind of throw around everywhere, were too flimsy in her treatment room, especially as somebody who is a lash artist. And she also wanted light that would transfer 360 or 180 or whatever you may be. And I actually love that. And so it's a more stationary light. It's a heavier formed light, and it's really perfect for content, like POV content in terms of your client. Oh my gosh, I always know when people are using a Cosmoglow light because there's something just so seamless about their video content and the way that it looks. Now, the difference between this one and the one that I was telling you that I like for the reason I use mine in my treatment room is because Cosmoglow is a more stationary light. It's meant for those who are doing lashes, or if you're a waxer, it's really good for the brows. So, like, specifically, I have a girl in the industry. Her name is Alexa, who's my friend, and she has a Cosmoglow light, and she has this beautiful bed that it lays on, and it just looks so pretty. Like, if all I cared about is aesthetic, I would get the Cosmoglow light and hang it over my bed. Oh, that would be like chef's kiss situation with the Enso Duo warmer. Like, it couldn't be beat. Like, those three trifectas would be like sold. So if you're a brow artist or you're somebody who doesn't need to move your light around or your content, and I think this is a really good one too. Like, if you're a body waxer, but all of your content comes from like the brow area or like anywhere on the face and you're not focused on shooting the body, I would say the Cosmo Glow light is a really, really great option for you. Those are definitely my two faves in the industry. They do have knockoffs on Amazon, but guys, support. Like, support Mary. Come on. It was her idea. I commend her because she has so many patents and she really fights for them. And her light got completely ripped off. And I just emotionally understand that roller coaster of building something from literal scratch, which I did with the Enso Duo, and just like having it everywhere and people making money and people only buying it because it's like $100 cheaper. But at the end of the day, like, I will say it all comes like, you don't just spend money on a product. You spend money on the brand, you spend money on the relationship, you spend money on the customer service, you spend money. And when you pour into these smaller brands are able to then turn around and give you more for the future. And I always want people to like understand how important that is for a small brand. It's like, trust me when I tell you, like, small brand owners take out the least amount to like live so that they can continue to pour money into your cup and like your business and continue to grow. So please support them. I'm going to link both of them down below. I don't get any commission for it, but I don't care. I don't want it. Here's the thing. A lot of wax brands load up their formulas with fuzzy ingredients for the marketing label. Think lavender, zinc, acai, matcha, 24 karat gold, unicorn dust, you name it. But half of it doesn't do anything once it hits the skin, and the real performance suffers. At Enso, we don't chase trends, we chase results. Our waxes are made with high quality, functional ingredients that actually support the skin and help you work efficiently. No gimmicks, no fillers, just wax that melts beautifully, spreads like butter, and is a wax that your clients notice. If you've ever felt like your wax wasn't quite delivering, it might be time to stop buying the buzzword and start choosing performance. Use code TWP10 for 10% off your first order, and I'm going to drop a link down below for you to come hang out in the completely free Enso community channel. It's where estheticians are having real conversations and you're learning about Enso before anybody else. No, it's not your next Facebook group. Enso is a wax that work as hard as you do, and I'm so excited for you to take this opportunity to try it for yourself. Okay, those are my two big pieces. Obviously, I would credit Enso Duo, the warmer right now, but it's not out yet. And I do plan to have a really big update coming up very soon. And the reason, and I don't know if I spoke about this before, but the reason I haven't been so up and forthcoming about what's happening with the Duo is for a couple of reasons. One, legally, and I'll let you fill in the gaps to why I'm saying that. And then two, I have been keeping tabs and updating my initial people that invested in the warmer for the last 2 years. And they're at the point where they get a monthly update from me. And there's something about feeling a certain way with telling everybody the story that I feel like belongs to them right now. Like, they were the ones that believed in the journey when it first started. And, bumps and things like that have happened in the road. And to be honest, I didn't expect anybody to still be here. And I do have a really good group of people from all over who have stuck around and enjoyed the ride. And I just feel like that conversation is so much more important to give to them before I talk about the Duo. But just know it's coming. Okay, so those are my like 3 trifectas that I feel like are really big pieces in your treatment room that are so helpful. I'm going to move on to a random one, and I feel like it's because this one's serving me currently right now that I really enjoy. A fan. So I always say, like, especially because a lot of people talk online and we have a lot of forums around like temperature of your wax and temperature of your room and how much it can play a part into your all over service. And so if you can get and a cute aesthetic fan is always going to be something that I say, but like the one that I have, it's called a Dreo. It's Dreo. I'll link it in the bio. It's like really cute. It's like 3 feet tall. It looks very like clean and sleek, but I love having this fan in the treatment room. Number one, because it's just nice to cool on yourself. And two, if your client is really hot, you can put this fan on them and it's not like a direct hit. Fan has a remote control. It has different gears that you can put it on. And it's not just like high, low, medium. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it goes up to 6. And then you can also rotate it up and down. That's why I recommend that one because that one looks really nice. But I always like to have that in the back of my pocket, especially when people are getting services and they feel like a little overheated. It's just something really nice. And I think really belongs in every treatment room, no matter what. Always make sure you can control as much temperature as you can in your room for both your surroundings and an environment, and then also for your client's sake. So those are, again, like I said, I'm going big to small. Let's go into content and then we'll go into services. So content. I think everybody should have these couple of items in their treatment room for content. So, number one, microphone. If you can purchase and invest in a microphone, it's so helpful for crisp and clear content, especially if you're somebody like me who likes to just come on and talk and share information in real time. I know there are so many like sound bites that you can use and different ways to promote yourself. And if that's the way you choose that, then great. Maybe a microphone isn't necessary for you. But if you're somebody who's just to the camera and talking, such an engaging part of that is for that person to feel like that voice that they're listening to is so clear. There's like a psychological thing to it. I know people talk about it all the time on TikTok, but they're like, the difference between no mic and mic is crazy. And to be honest, they're always right. Like, if a girl is sharing a video, if it's in a car, if it's quiet, whatever, but like if it's in a bigger space, like a treatment room, I just think that condensed sound is really nice. Plus, you can take it with you and do different forms of content. Like if you go to a trade show or if you do an event, or there's just so many ways that you can do it. I love the interview style of the mic. Clients involved and you have like a back and forth thing with them. I think that's really cute and really fun. And I think it's fun when people also like stick their mics on different things, like a popsicle stick, or like I've stuck mine on an Enso Duo or Enso wax can, like the Benny wax can. And that's just a really great thing. So let's talk about which one that I use, but let's talk about other alternatives. So the one that I use is the Rode, and it's called the Me. I think it's the to-go one. It comes with a RX and a TX, two of them, so that if you wanted to do two people recording at once, you can. I do it because of podcasting, and I actually invested in that recently. So I would say before that, I would just use different ones on Amazon, although you can find the Rode one on Amazon. The one that I got ran at about $250, which I felt like was expensive, but I've had them now for a really long time. So like again, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, it's a first, it's a more expensive investment, but just like your bed and just like everything else, you just have to buy it one time. So this is a situation where it's the same thing. The mic I've spent $250 on, but it's been a year and I'm still going strong. And I take care of them because they're expensive. So I'll drop another one that's like a little bit more affordable if you want. Okay, next after a microphone is a couple of different cameras. And I say cameras, but I mean like lenses and stuff like that. So, number one, I love the macro and micro lenses. You can get those on Amazon. They're really easy. You clip them right onto your phone. If you're not listening, I'm like right here on your phone or watching. I'm like, here we go. You clip them right onto your phone. And it's really nice for people who want to zoom in on ingrowns or who want to show brows or who want to like do a close up of their wax. There's so many things that you can do with it, but it's a micro macro. It's super easy. Connect it right onto your phone. There's no plugins, no USBs. That's the one thing I freaking hate about all this tech is how much crap you need for this tech shit to work. So this is a nice one because you don't need to do anything. And another one that goes, again, it's not a camera, but like I am obsessed. I don't have it on right now, but I did just find a mag safe, like the magnet safe, freaking Octo Buddies. You guys, the Octo Buddy is so nice for content. It's so annoying, but it's genuinely changed the way that like I can just throw it up against any surface area. And I know that they sell another thing on TikTok that like suction cups. To be honest, that might be the better move because the Octo Buddy are so annoying, but I choose the Octo Buddy because it's $6.99. It's super easy. And you just connect it anywhere that, for services that are available. So like think like windows, refrigerators, mirrors, stuff like that. But like you can stick it and go. It's just a really good tool to have. And it's a really good tool to have if you do content. Side note, this doesn't have to do with really a waxer, but if you're somebody that does long form content like how I'm doing right now today, I also have the Brio, the Logi. It's a camera that connects onto my my MacBook. And it's really nice because the Mac cameras suck, like get it to actual together. But this is really nice. When I podcast with people, when I do interviews, they always ask what I'm using because it just looks a little bit cleaner. If you want to see what that looks like, head on to I always say Shopify. Head on to Spotify and you can watch it and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But this is really good if you do long form content. Okay, getting back to cameras. I don't own one. yet, but my sister does. But she invested in the Sony camera that is specifically for creators. And let me tell you, her videos are actually really nice to watch. This is definitely a larger purchase, ranging you at around 2 grand. So this would be if you're somebody like who I think of first is like Monique Haddad. She's based out of California and her content is used from a professional camera. I can totally tell. And she's obviously shared that she uses it. And I just think it's such a great investment for somebody like her who utilizes it so much. So if you're somebody who wants to do more content or have just more like crispier videos or crispier camera like feed or anything like that, what a great recommendation. There's this girl in California who I think would be really good with it too. Her name's Nicole. I think she takes like the dreamiest pictures of her clients. I just like the aesthetic of it. She'd be a really good one for that too. Okay, moving on to okay, lastly, although let's do 2 more. So, even though this again is not like a tech thing, I know we kind of went over tech just now, but going back into tools, I think every waxer should have a warm towel caddy. I think it's just one of those things to where you think an esthetician who does facials needs one of those and you do not, but there's so many uses that I've had for it, to be honest, that like I almost can't live without it. But the towel caddy is really good for a couple of things. So I have like an eye warmer in there for whenever I do laminations that I really like it for. Again, this is a tool that only cost me $35 once, and I'm talking about the eye mask, not the warmer, but the warmer was honestly not more than 50 or $60. The eye mask, however, was a $35 purchase. It stays in the towel caddy, and I put it on my client's brows during a lamination on step number 1 or 2, just depending. And it's just such a great experience for your clients to have something different. One of the things that I always teach and tell people is that it's really, really simple for you to invest in these tools. And the outcome of it is that clients can come to you and then we'll go to somebody else. And that if that other person does not do what, you did with the eye mask or the next product that I'm going to tell you about, they notice. Like they know when something does not happen in the next one. And so any tools that you can buy truly is an investment. So towel caddy for items that you can warm on your client's face. I also personally love to put my soft wax cans in there and pour in to my warmer. That's just a preference that I've done for a really long time. I can't stand the idea of having to take a can out, put a new can in, and allowing that to warm up before I can use it again. I just like to like pour and go, pour and go. So that's also why I use a towel caddy. And then lastly, which I'll link and it is from Amazon, is an eye wand tool. So it's a USB facial tool. So let me tell you the backstory. So I was actually not wanting to because I did. So I upped my brow prices by $7, which was a pretty big jump. A lot of people do like $2, $3. I wanted to do more. I wanted to do a $7 jump because I hadn't done it in so long, but I wanted it to, I wanted to buy something that like elevated the experience so that when they did get that price increase, it was like a no-brainer. And my clients, they were like, about time. That's how much I love my clients. They were like, about time you did that. I bought this tool. So originally I was looking for eye masks that I could put in my refrigerator and then put on them after their brow service so that it would cool the brows down and whatever else. And I did periodically think about the brow masks that people put on the under eyes, but they use it on the brows. So I was like, yeah, like I could totally do that. But then I was like, I'd have to keep rebuying those. And, like what's something I can do once? So I ended up finding, because I was like, I don't want to run to my refrigerator behind me and keep going back and forth and like grabbing it. Like I feel like like when things theoretically sound good, but like in action, you're like, that did not work at all. That was one of those moments. So I ended up finding, because of Ashley, Wax at Ash, California, shout out to you. I remembered that she put something on her clients and she talked about it and she said that she had linked it in her Amazon page. And I was like, okay, let me actually go and see what it was. Well, it's a USB cooling wand where you charge it with a USB. Remember what I was saying earlier about the damn USBs, but you charge it on the USB and then you literally hit it. It's a cooling button. And oh my gosh, you guys, it feels so good. It gets warm and it gets cool. Obviously in the treatment room, I only use the cool one. My clients lost their ever living shit over this. Like when I put it on them, they were like, whoa, what is this? They're like, God, this feels so good. And anyway, it's really good for a couple of reasons. So it's great for clients who get really red, get reactive. It's really good in the summertime when it's just hot outside and they're walking in like ready for a drink because of how hot it is. I live in Florida, so if you know, you know. And it's rechargeable. You can disinfect it. Like I make sure to put alcohol on it afterwards and after between each client. It is just a really good tool. Was I think on sale for $35. So yeah, I don't know. But that's like my favorite tool to use right now. So I know I kind of went big to small, but that one's pretty small. So it's like a handheld one. And I'm like, am I missing any? I don't think so. These are like my favorite tools to use right now. And I am so happy if this podcast gets you to buy something for your business. Cause again, it's not about spending money, it's about investing. So this was an episode that I think is long overdue. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much for hanging out. I can't believe we spent 30 minutes on tools and tech, but here we are. Look at us. We're officially tech bros, really dominating the industry with our tech and tool ideas. So I will see you at the next podcast. I hope this inspired you. I hope this gave you a little bit of knowledge, and I hope you follow the conversation on socials, and I will see you next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Waxing Podcast. If you found today's conversation helpful, be sure to follow the show and leave a review. It helps continue creating resources for beauty pros just like you. For updates and more, follow us on Instagram at the Waxing Podcast. I'll see you next week.